Monsters come in numerous shapes and sizes, but some of the most epic ones are the beasts that live to fight. Two of which being the Pokemon, and the Darkstalkers. Today, we have a battle between two of the most iconic of these groups. Pikachu, the electric mouse, and Jon Talbain, the kung fu canine. Which of these two is the deadlier monster? Today we find out and see who will survive in the arena of death. Let's start things off with the smaller monster. Weight equal to or maybe even less than a baby, 1 foot high, this little lightning rat is Pikachu, one of the most popular Pokemon, and Ash Ketchum's proof that it takes friendship to complete your goal. As of now, Pikachu is a nice and friendly companion, but then, he was an Omega jerk. Now, he is super small, so physical strength and stamina? Yeah, not so much, but thankfully his intense speed apologizes for it. So when Pikachu decided to cause a Spearow extinction in his early days, his speed was basically bouncing off the wall. However, speed is not the only thing he has in his arsenal. His big red cheeks are one of Pika's main power sources, letting him be able to use his iconic Thunderbolt. Oh, is your opponent still standing? Boom, quick attack, always good to surprise foes. Volt Tackle is a powerful strike for the mouse-sized war machine of death, but with all good things comes a catch. The attack comes with a recoil, making Pikachu get 33% of the amount of damage as his opponent. Pikachu's moveset also insists of Iron Tail and Quick Attack. Ash's Pikachu is insanely powerful, he's basically the personification to a battery, no only being able to use energy as a weapon, but also able to absorb it. And since he has a high amount of wattage, he's actually stronger than the average Pikachu. If we take Pikachu's move Thunderbolt's name extremely literally and say that Pikachu's electricity is as powerful as a Thunderbolt, we could be able to say that a single Thunderbolt that Pikachu can produce is about 100 kilovolts. However, while a Thunderbolt can knock someone out or cause paralysis, it does not seem able to cause over-the-top burns, making it have a range of 100 mAh, 0.1 watts. Something to know is that these bolts take about 5 seconds, meaning that Pikachu is discharging enough energy to power way more than 50 houses in just 5 seconds. And that's not all, Pikachu is also able to use 15 Thunderbolts before resting, meaning he's able to produce 1500 kV amount of electricity before needing to rest. Pikachu cannot stay on his feet forever, he needs to rest, which honestly isn't too bad since rests take up to about 3 seconds. A few more feats is that this amount of energy is able to both boil 8 pots of tea at the same time, and he's able to generate enough energy to be comparable to a single wind turbine. With all these feats, it seems like Pikachu has infinite energy. But alas, even lightning rodents have their limit. If he absorbs too much energy, kaboom! He'll immediately live up to his trainer's name. He may be one awesome mouse creature, but he's still, you know, a mouse. He can only absorb so much. Also, despite reaching his full potential a long while ago, he refuses to evolve into Raichu, the evolved counterpart of a Pikachu. But even without evolving, Pikachu has done things that many Pokemon have and will never do. He's developed new skills through his life like the Midair Spin Dodge and Counter Shield. He's even been able to fight legendary godlike Pokemon. In Pikachu's case, the saying, "looks can be deceiving," is definitely true. He may be a small little sucker, but under that cute and adorable face is one creature you do not want to screw with. Overall, Pikachu is extremely fast and deadly. He is extremely skilled in electric-based moves, but without Ash, he will certainly lack a battle plan. One monster to another, let's discuss Jon Talbain. Born in 1940, England, Jon's mother died shortly after giving birth, and his father soon disappeared once again. Said little Jon was forced to grow up all alone, blissfully unaware of his demonic ties, but his life wasn't all bad despite this. Man, what is it with stories of orphans turned hero of the night? Jon would remain ignorant of his heritage until he was a young adult, where one fateful day, under the iridescent glow of the full moon, a beastly instinct awoke. Where there was once bare flesh, laid fur. In his new werewolf form, the orphan had become an outcast from human society and was determined to prevent his monstrous urges from consuming his human past completely. Eventually encountering a similarly plagued hermit, who informed him that the curse would be broken if Jon achieved his physical peak, Jon hears of Dimitri's plan to organize a tournament to determine the strongest Darkstalker, alongside the invasion of the alien energy god Pyron, and saw this as a way to further his physical abilities and link to humanity. And if he was going to hold his own in the tournament, he'd need a bunch of skills to take on his opponents with. Luckily for him, he had plenty. Like his signature Beast Cannon and Climb Laser, which despite the name, isn't actually a laser. When using the Beast Cannon, Jon cloaks himself in an aura of chi and propels himself towards his opponents with incredible force. He can go in any direction, and even do several of them back to back, if need be. Jon's Climb Laser is an upwards kick engulfed in chi, similar of that to Guile's flash kick from Street Fighter. His Wild Circular is a powerful grab, where Talbain grabs his opponent, performs a rolling backflip into the air, and slams his foe down. And when utilizing his Million Flicker, Jon takes out his nunchucks, which he apparently has on him at all times, and swings them at his opponent in the blink of an eye, dealing massive damage at close range. Despite how cool a nunchuk werewolf sounds, Jon has even more techniques at his disposal. Like his devastating Moment Slice, where Jon stabs his opponent in the gut with his claws and then proceeds to slice them into the air. Hell, it's so powerful that Jon can tear people in half without even trying. Due to Talbain's inherent magical nature as a Darkstalker, he has access to some curious, yet potent abilities. With the Dragon Cannon, Jon summons a giant spiral dragon made of fire and shoots it at the opponent. Boomstick, so we know that he's a tough son of a gun, but he's also super quick. In his battle with fellow furry Darkstalker, Felicia, they appeared as just a blur, and they've both outrun explosions. Plus, he can outpace the bullets of the crazy weapon girl, B.B. Hood, and fought evenly with Chun-Li. Plus, Jon has been able to endure explosions from B.B. Hood's weaponry, like bullets, grenades, Molotov cocktails, and a rocket launcher. She's an expert Darkstalker hunter, by the way. And he's survived stabbings from Bishaman's blade, Kien, which can slice people clean in half. Not to mention his healing factor, which allowed him to fully recover from injuries sustained when fighting Felicia over the course of a night. But if there's one thing that Jon is constantly dealing with, it's fighting his urge to go full beast. While he's never given into his bestial side thanks to years of honing his skills, he still constantly fights against himself to keep it in check, though he gains much better control over it at the end of the series. Despite a turbulent past, Jon has pushed forward, carving his own path, and as long as he seeks to retain control, Jon Talbain will never stop pushing himself to his limits. Overall, Jon is a B+ class Darkstalker and master combatant. However, he can lose control, which could cause trouble during battle.
Pikachu!
What a shocking turn of events. Pikachu may arguably be faster at his best, but Jon has shown that he is fast enough to dodge lasers and machine gun fire, so it really isn't that big of an advantage. Jon also had much better training over the years, being taught by a master, while Pikachu was taught by a 10-year-old. Pikachu's attacks also had little effect. His only real chance was to outmatch Jon's strength and stamina, which was just too much for the poor little mouse to handle. Plus, Jon's healing factor helped him recover from Pikachu's deadliest blows. Looks like Pikachu just couldn't keep it together. The winner is Jon Talbain.